Hi, and welcome to EPLoverLA. This is the week of May 10th through the 16th, 2010. Even though the EPL season is over, football fans still had reasons to get together this week. On Wednesday, we had the Europa Cup final with Fulham in it, and then on Saturday, we had the FA Cup final with Chelsea versus Portsmouth. English football fans had another reason to rally together this Sunday when the Mail on Sunday publication in the UK, sister publication to the Daily Mail, released a story saying that Lord Trisman, or Treisman, I'm not quite sure how to say it, so since it starts with a T, I'm going to affectionately call him Lord Toole. Lord Toole apparently had a lunch with an ex-mistress of his just 2 days after giving the 2018 England World Cup bid. Apparently at this lunch, he both revealed information that was in that bid and also made statements saying that both Spain and Russia were using corrupt measures to get the bid their way and were also doing some ref fixing in this next upcoming 2010 World Cup. There's so much wrong with this story, I don't even know where to begin. Obviously, Lord Toole was a damn fool for saying anything that he said. Even if he had suspicions, you do not go on the record saying anything like that at all until you have hard, solid evidence. And especially, you don't say it to an ex-mistress. Because I'm sorry, but you learn by the age of 14 that anyone who is an ex-anything is not someone who's going to be your friend. The next thing I want to know is why the hell was she bugged? And how did they know that the Daily Mail, the Mail on Sunday, was going to release this? Because someone actually tried to put a gag order in the High Court on this story. What I want to know from the Mail on Sunday is where is the actual story? The story here is actually about the corruption in FIFA, the corruption heading into the World Cup, the corruption in the bid. Where are the details on that? Where's the evidence? Where is the proof? As far as I'm concerned, you're spreading gossip. There really isn't a story. There isn't any proof. There isn't any evidence. So congratulations to the Mail on Sunday. You may have single-handedly cost England the 2018 World Cup bid. Now, you may or may not know that Lord Toole was also the chairman of the FA, which he has also resigned from. The FA is obviously no stranger to scandal, and with more on one of their more recent issues, we are going to jump over to Alicia and her rant of the week.
So last week, Fabio Capello introduced his new website, the Capello Index. Evidently, this is a project he's been working on for the past couple of years, involving a group of other analysts, media-type people, who all get together and rank players. And it's pretty in-depth. I've been to the site. You know, you can click on their names and you can click like where they were playing, and this like field pops up and shows you the position, shows you what kind of weight that carries, what they did in that position. And on top of that, there's a fantasy football element. So all in all, it's just a football site. What makes this one even more special, though, was the attention it got from the English media and the FA. Really, Fabio Capello should thank you, because you've taken a site that most people probably would have gone to and been like, oh, this is cool, I might come back sometime, and made it something that everybody wants to go see because you threw such a big stink over it. Seriously, calling it a scandal? How is this scandalous? Yeah, he might make some money off of it, and yeah, he's ranking players, but they're from different leagues. They're not just your own. I mean, he's got La Liga, Serie A, and the EPL, and yeah, he wanted to launch it before the World Cup, which means that, okay, so he might have been ranking some of the English players during the World Cup, and he coaches the team. I get that. But do you really think he's the one doing all the analyses? He can't be everywhere at once, unless he was like that blue man from The Watchmen. But he's not. I mean, he's one guy. Do you really think he's going to be ranking his own players? And do you think the players are even going to go to the site to see where they rank? Do you really think they'd care? Or that any manager is going to? Do you think Jose Mourinho or Ancelotti or Wenger or Sir Alex Ferguson is going to go to the site and go, oh, gee, I wonder where the Capello Index ranked them this week. Oh, they're that low, maybe I should trade them. I don't think so. So thank you for making such a huge mountain out of a little molehill, because really I think that gave him more publicity than the story alone ever would.
And now we're going to get away from all the World Cup drama and jump back over to some nice EPL drama. Obviously, one of the big issues coming into next season is all the club's financial situations. And with a little insight and help for that subject, we are going to jump over to Helen.
For many teams, this year has been a very difficult one financially. As most of you know, Pompey has already faced administration, and if rumor has it, other teams could be doomed to follow. Since all of you are EPL lovers, I'm sure that none of you want to see any team face complete and total economic ruin and despair, even Man United. So I have decided to come up with a few helpful tips on how teams can save themselves from this fate. Yard sale. Works in the States, I'm sure it could work abroad as well. All those items in the gift shop that aren't moving, dump them in the middle of the stadium, mark down the prices, invite the neighbors over, and I'm sure you'll make up a few extra pounds. Car wash. Pick your best looking teammates. Note the best looking, not the ones who think they're the best looking. Put them in swimsuits, I say the smaller the better, and have them start washing cars. If it works for cheerleaders and Girl Scouts, I am sure it'll work for footballers too. eBay. It's the best place to auction off your better players. Mascot wars. For the kiddies, stick your favorite mascots, Rory the Tiger, Stanford the Lion, the Red Devil, the Gunnersaur, whoever else you want to throw into the mix, put them in a cage, have them fight to the death in a pay-per-view battle. Some people might say it's a bit traumatizing, but then so was Bambi. Sex tape. For those teams who just can't get enough of their sex scandals, get together, film a group team orgy, leak the tape, and if you're lucky, maybe Ronaldo will see it and invite you to lunch too. It's one less meal you have to pay for. So before you knock these ideas, just remember, desperate times call for desperate measures. And if all else fails, find a Russian billionaire to buy your team. It's worked for some people.
Well, now we're going to jump over really quick to our Learn It from Lauren segment for this week.
Ever taken a look at the tables from the Premier League down to the blue square? You may have noticed they don't have the same number of clubs. I did a little research and came up with some history of English football. The Premier League was established in 1992 with 22 clubs. In 95, FIFA insisted leagues reduce the number of games played, so 4 clubs were relegated and only 2 promoted. The championship boasts high attendance numbers, aided somewhat by the fact that it has 24 clubs. Prior to 2004, it was known as Football League First Division, and it was the highest in English football until the creation of the Premier League. Initially, the First Division had 12 clubs, but it has expanded due to the popularity of football and the number of quality teams. League One was known as Football League Second Division. It was formed back in 1892 with 12 clubs, most of which had played for a rival league called the Football Alliance. It has also expanded to 24 clubs. League Two was the third division, drawn from the Southern Football League, and has also grown to 24 clubs. Blue Square Premier is the top division of the football conference. It has a mixture of full-time and semi-professional clubs and was formed in 1979. It had 22 clubs until Chester City was expelled this past February following financial problems. In 2004, Blue Square North and Blue Square South were added. Blue Square North had 22 clubs until this past March when Farsley Celtic resigned from competition after going into administration. Blue Square South currently has 22 clubs, but this may be affected next year by the number of relegation spots and the number of Southern clubs looking to be promoted. We'll have to wait and see, as none of the leagues seem to be immune to problems in the finance department.
And don't forget, leave comments on our YouTube channel or on our Facebook page so that we can start answering questions that you have. And now we're going to end our show with our favorite football quote of the week. This has been another episode of EPLoverLA. We'll see you next week.
And if all else fails, find a Russian billionaire to buy your team. I know it's worked for some people.